Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Builder Tutorials. It's been a long time, but I figure with the new patch, everyone's been a little bit confused as to what they're supposed to be doing. So I figured to reboot this and show you guys some of the cutting edge builds that have come out of this patch. This is after 4.0 and it's also after the most recent little blip of a patch that changed a couple of things. For those of you not in the know. I'll definitely look at BattleNets for the updates because there are quite a few of them, but one of the things made TvP quite difficult, and some people are experimenting with mechs. So, this build order is Mech versus Protoss. Start off with your 14 depot, as usual. Mech versus Protoss is a fun build to do. It definitely catches a lot of people off guard. 15 gas. $16 racks. Fill your gas geyser up. Start up your orbital and start a Reaper. Send your SCV to the low ground and build a command center. At a factory, and gas. Add a reactor onto that barracks. Go scout with your Reaper. Build a supply depot to finish off that wall. Fill your gas geyser. With your factory done, start a cyclone and get 2 Marines from that barracks. Remember to get the orbital command at the natural. Your main base should be saturated, so rally your SCVs to your natural. Lift that barracks off the reactor. Lift your factory and put it on the reactor. At this point, just remember not to get supply blocks. Build 2 cyclones at a time. Note that this is pretty supply intensive, so be really on top of your supply depots. Look towards that 3rd base. Slap down a command center. Get another 2 cyclones and add 2 refineries to your natural gases. Add a tech lab on that lone barracks. Fill up your gases. Take that barracks off the tech lab. Once the cyclones are done, put that tech lab on the recently abandoned tech lab. And then put 2 more factories down, 1 on that barren reactor, and another one just all by itself. Start a siege tank from the factory now in the tech lab. Your 3rd CC is done, so build an orbital with it. And you should have added a reactor onto your barracks. Just finishing up. Throw down double armory. Lift the barracks off the reactor. And now with all your factories done, pick up the 1 and send it over to that lone reactor. Now you're going to have tank and 4 times hellion production. Start your +1/+1 as soon as the armories are done. That's vehicle, weapons, and plating. Get your gases at your 3rd base, both of them. Start blue flame. Add on 2 more factories, and remember to fill the 3rd base refineries. If your 3rd base is saturated, you can stop building SCVs. Build an engineering bay for safety. Get a 4th command center. Add 2 tech labs onto your recently finished factories. Now would be a good time to use your excess minerals to build SAG defense. And basically macro from here. So when 1-1 finishes, start 2-2, eventually get smart servos, the transformation upgrade. At around 9 minutes, get that cyclone upgrade. And then you're going to push with your mech army around 10 minutes and grab 2 starports as you do so. Now onto the build discussion. So the strengths of this build are as follows. Surprise factor. No one's really expecting mech, especially not the initial early cyclones. Maybe 1 or 2, but not 5. Provides opportunity for early pressure, so again with the cyclones, no one really expects them. The stalkers can no longer be the only units out in the map, and you can even continue to press them if you think that they're being a little greedy. It's a solid mech build order as far as versus Protoss goes. As long as you can protect that 3rd base, you can definitely work off of this as your macro build. Max mech army is still difficult to beat, even against a Protoss player, especially one that's not accustomed to accommodating for mech army. And it's not the usual way to play, so, you know, surprise factor, but a little more in the long, drawn-out sense. Just like you'll confuse people, basically. For the weaknesses, it's better on maps with easier expansion. So you saw me playing on Neon Violet Square. That is the easiest, best map to do it on. On other maps, you're going to have to put your command center in your natural and really test the waters before just simply taking it, because they can definitely pressure while you're still building up your initial tank count. Charge out all-ins can be hard to hold, so basically if they 2-base or 3-base all-in you with that, it can be difficult. Hellbats definitely help. Blue flame timing can help. Walls can help. Those such things. If your mech build is scouted early and you don't provide a lot of pressure onto your opponent, mech will have a hard time dealing with carriers, because that's kind of what ultimately they will figure they can do against a slow building mech player, and there still isn't really a concrete answer to what to do against that. And you need to be careful in your positioning, doubly so with, you know, mech, and then triply so or quadruply so versus Protoss, because with Immortals, they will be able to pick away at your units if you are not paying attention to them immediately. So I've personally played around with this build quite a lot on my stream, so here are some tips and tricks that I've learned. The Reaper needs to scout if it's a Twilight Council Robo opener or a Stargate opener. If Stargate, Cyclone should be kept at home because the Oracles will be flying in, and you don't really want to be able to force to spend money on missile turrets, but that is an option. If it's Twilight Council Robo opener, which is most Protosses are doing nowadays, Cyclones can be used for map control or pressure. If they read you appropriately, they'll add more shield batteries and not be as greedy as they think they can be. But you can still actually, you know, as opposed to when with Marines, you can actually kind of take control of the map until they get a higher count. If possible, pressure Protoss on 2 base and 3. Many Protosses are just assuming they could be greedy with the new advanced Stalker. And your Cyclones plus any Hellions actually can really complicate matters for someone that thinks they can just take a third or skimp on shield batteries. Walls can help against attacks, is what I was talking about with the charge all-ins. Think about SimCity when setting up bases, so you might even want to pre-set up your SimCity if you're still on a low tank Hellion count on those harder to take third base maps, as that can actually be very helpful. Lastly, harass with Hellions to both damage your opponent and scout. Always a good idea. If you got the Hellions, you should be using them to roam around the map and scout. If you don't get much done, if they're constantly turning you away, you gotta scan the main to scout potential air swaps. You just gotta keep tabs on that army, and you gotta keep tabs on the research. With the new advanced chrono boost as well, they will be able to chrono out carriers faster than you expect. Now this can be at around the time that you push, around 10 minutes. They'll have a confident ground army and feel okay transitioning, and that's when you're gonna push. This is where Cyclone anti-air upgrade does help. But honestly, if they get to 5 or 6 carriers, Cyclones don't do enough damage consistently to win, and you're going to need to start thinking about, well, no one's quite figured out the perfect response, but Thors, Widow Mines with Drilling Claws, those such things to actually take on that air army. And of course, if you like this content, then consider following me on this YouTube channel, on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram, supporting my Patreon, whatever. And also, go ahead and check out my other videos. Thanks for watching.